Plague Inc. was released on May 26 for iOS, but later released as Plague Inc. Evolved as a Steam Early Access game on January 20th of 2014. Plague Inc. was developed and published by Endemic Creations. The game is a management sim where you attempt to wipe out the entire human race, starting with a single patient. When starting out each simulation, you're able to choose which type of pandemic you want to ensue. For instance, the plague can be bacterial, viral, or fungal, among others. The type of plague you choose determines many of the characteristics of the plague and how it's transmitted and its symptoms. In order to wipe out the entire human race, it's up to you to evolve your plague. This is done by upgrading the plague in three main areas of evolution, which includes how the plague is transmitted, the resilience of the plague, and the side effects of the plague. The game requires deep strategy in how you evolve the plague. There's only a set number of plague points you can spend on evolution, so they need to be spent wisely. In order to get plague points, you need to pop plague bubbles that appear from time to time all over the map. Sometimes these bubbles will infect a new region and give you some plague points, and some will just give you points. If the side effects of the plague run rampant, doctors will quickly start looking for a cure as the world's population begins to become sick and die. If the side effects become too noticeable or harsh in a country or region, they might close down their borders to prevent it from spreading, which will hinder your ability to spread the plague across the world. If you evolve the way a plague is transmitted too rapidly, you might not have enough points later to put into side effects to actually destroy the world's population, and a cure will be found before you're able to beat the scenario. The plague is also affected by the climates it's in, so in order to infect places like Egypt or Greenland, the plague needs to become resilient to hot or cold climates. Balancing these three aspects of the game makes the gameplay really challenging and a horrifying game. The gameplay for this game is actually really quite good. Although I had difficulty getting very far playing it for multiple hours, I still enjoyed all the time I spent with it, and I would consider it to be one of the funner and more unique sim games that I've ever played. The game's horror elements don't come from jump scares or anything in the traditional sense of horror. However, by being grounded in reality and actually showing you how dangerous a plague can be in the modern era makes the game quite scary. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, an agency of the US government that's currently involved in the 2014 Ebola outbreak in West Africa, praised Plague Inc. for raising public awareness about the dangers of global pandemics in a non-traditional route by providing information on epidemiology and disease transmission. Graphically, the game for the most part is a map with a few menus that you upgrade your plague. It's very bare bones, but the map itself does look good. However, overall graphically, the game is severely lacking. However, it doesn't hinder gameplay or the experience whatsoever. The music for this game is downright creepy and it would fit well with any horror game. The music has a very serious tone and sort of urgency which makes it feel even scarier, especially when you look back and see what you're actually doing in this game. Plague Inc. is a fantastic sim. Despite being somewhat simple in its implementation, it very clearly gets its point across in a really fun and scary way. The game has lots of replay value due to its difficulty, however, at times the difficulty can feel frustrating. However, I kept going back to the game despite this. I'd highly recommend this game to anyone that's a fan of sim management games, or anyone that's looking for a bit of a scare that hits home.